Major developments are coming in on this weekend's nor'easter, and the models are now showing a significant eastward shift in the storm track. But here's what's remarkable. Even with that shift, multiple models are still projecting potentially historic snowfall for parts of the Carolinas and Virginia, with some guidance showing up to 2 feet or more. The signal for blizzard conditions is growing for eastern North Carolina, eastern Virginia, Rhode Island, and eastern Massachusetts. The European model continues showing a powerful low-pressure system developing right off the North Carolina coast Saturday evening, then pivoting northward along the coastline through Sunday. The system is tracking further east than previous runs, which reduces impacts for some interior areas, but maintains or increases the threat for coastal sections from the Carolinas through New England. The GFS model shows similar positioning, but with heavier precipitation and a tighter wind gradient as the system moves up the coast. Those tight isobars, the lines showing pressure differences, indicate strong winds will accompany the heavy snow, creating blizzard conditions where the heaviest precipitation falls. The Canadian model is now on board with this solution as well, showing 1 to 2 to potentially 3 or even 4 feet of snow in the most favored locations. This is trending consistently across multiple modeling systems. The ensemble guidance, which averages many different model runs, is increasingly supporting the European model's track, showing a big swath of heavy snow across Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, with the heaviest accumulation from bombogenesis occurring just offshore. Eastern Long Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island remain in line for significant snow with this solution. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. The impacts timeline works like this. Saturday morning brings minor impacts spreading across northern Georgia and into South Carolina. Saturday evening into Sunday is when the system really cranks up, pivoting along the North Carolina coast with the heaviest snowfall accumulating in the coastal Piedmont and Tidewater regions. The storm then curves up towards southern Delmarva, clips southern New Jersey, impacts eastern Long Island, and delivers potentially heavy snow and blizzard conditions to Rhode Island and eastern Massachusetts through Sunday evening. The probability graphics are showing concerning trends. Moderate impacts have grown to the 90th percentile for the zone from Charlotte through Asheboro, Raleigh, Concord, and Greensboro. That means we're approaching near certainty for significant impacts across central North Carolina. Eastern North Carolina and eastern Virginia are now showing 90th percentile for moderate impacts as well, which translates to major impacts becoming increasingly likely. Even major impacts are reaching the 50th percentile for the hardest hit zones. Saturday afternoon through Sunday afternoon will be the most dangerous time to travel anywhere from Charlotte through Raleigh and up toward Richmond. Comparing this to the legendary winter of 2013, the similarities are striking. Winter Storm Nemo in February 2013 was a bomb cyclone that produced historic snowfall across New England. 40 inches in Hamden, Connecticut, nearly 32 inches in Portland, Maine, about 25 inches in Boston. The December 2013 ice storm left over 1 million without power. What we're tracking this weekend has similar bomb cyclone characteristics with the potential for comparable impacts in the heaviest snow zones. Let me walk through specific regional forecasts based on the latest guidance. For Georgia, this is now a legitimate snow threat. Northern Georgia could see 1 to 3 inches, with the Atlanta metro potentially seeing a coating to 1 inch in northern suburbs. This isn't a major event for Georgia, but any accumulation is notable this far south. For South Carolina, the upstate is in the crosshairs. Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson could see 3 to 5 inches. Columbia is looking at 2 to 4 inches. Even Charleston could see flurries or light accumulation depending on how far south the cold air penetrates. North Carolina is ground zero for this event. Charlotte should prepare for 4 to 6 inches minimum, with the potential for higher totals if the track shifts slightly. Raleigh is looking at 6 to 10 inches on most solutions, possibly more. Fayetteville could see 5 to 8 inches. The biggest totals will be along the eastern Piedmont and coastal plain. Greenville, Jacksonville, and the Outer Banks could see 8 to 14 inches with blizzard conditions as winds gust to 50 miles per hour or higher. Asheville and the Western Mountains see a different situation. 3 to 4 inches expected with the current track, though totals could increase if the system wobbles west. Virginia faces a sharp east-west gradient. Roanoke and Danville could see 5 to 7 inches. Richmond is looking at 4 to 6 inches on the conservative solutions, potentially much more if the track stays closer to the coast. The real action is in southeastern Virginia. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads could see 8 to 14 inches with blizzard conditions. This could be an all-timer for the Tidewater region. Eastern Tennessee and eastern Kentucky are in play for 3 to 5 inches of accumulation. West Virginia sees a split forecast. Charleston could pick up 2 to 4 inches. Beckley might see 4 to 6 inches. The eastern panhandle has higher potential if the track wobbles westward. For the Delmarva Peninsula and southern Maryland, this looks like a significant event. Southern sections could see 6 to 10 inches with the current track. The Mid-Atlantic corridor faces more uncertainty. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore are on the edge. The current track keeps the heaviest snow just to their east, but any westward wobble brings significant accumulation. Current guidance suggests 2 to 4 inches for the immediate D.C.-Baltimore corridor, with higher amounts in eastern suburbs closer to the bay. Delaware and southern New Jersey could see 4 to 8 inches, with higher totals along the coast. New York City sits right on the edge. The heaviest snow stays just offshore on most solutions, leaving the city with 2 to 4 inches, while eastern Long Island sees 6 to 12 inches. This gradient could be razor sharp. New England is where this could become historic if the track stays close enough. Boston and eastern Massachusetts are in the zone for potentially a foot or more of snow with blizzard conditions. Providence and Rhode Island face similar potential, 8 to 14 inches with 50+ mph wind gusts, creating whiteout conditions. Cape Cod, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard could see the highest totals in New England, potentially 12 to 18 inches. Hartford and interior Connecticut see less, perhaps 4 to 6 inches, while coastal sections get hammered. The wind component of this storm cannot be overstated. The European model shows wind gusts reaching 50 miles per hour across land throughout the southeast and up the east coast, with offshore gusts reaching 60 to 70 miles per hour. Wherever heavy snow coincides with these winds, blizzard conditions will develop. Wave heights of 10 to 12 feet are expected along the Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina coasts, building to 20 feet as the system intensifies northeast of the Outer Banks. One more wild element. There's potential for Gulf effect snow flurries reaching as far south as Tampa as the extreme cold air moves over the warmer Gulf waters. This won't amount to significant accumulation, but seeing any frozen precipitation that far south underscores how extreme this cold outbreak has become. The cold following this storm remains historic in scope. Freezing temperatures will extend all the way to the Gulf Coast and northern Florida. Wind chills will plunge below zero across the entire northern half of the country. This cold pattern shows no signs of breaking through at least mid-February, with signals for potentially record-breaking cold during the second half of February as the stratospheric polar vortex split translates to surface-level impacts. Looking beyond this weekend, another snow pattern is developing right behind this storm. The weather regime supports continued winter storm threats through February, particularly for the southeast and east coast. The bottom line, this is a serious winter storm that will impact millions from Georgia to Maine. The Carolinas and Virginia have high confidence for significant snow with blizzard potential along the coast. The I-95 corridor from D.C. to Boston remains conditional on exact track, but should be preparing for impacts. Eastern New England could see a crushing snowstorm if the track holds. Travel will be dangerous to impossible from Saturday afternoon through Sunday evening across the affected regions. If you're in the potential impact zone, complete your preparations today. This is shaping up to be another historic chapter in what's becoming a winter to remember. Stay safe out there.